No, we need to talk about that one. Questionable imagery aside, our boy literally just caused a war. When our maid puts those clothes on that desk, there was no coming back from that one. We know it's spider webs, but they knew what they were doing with that gooey imagery. The fact that they de-escalate the brother from launching war, being like, you know what, you're right. Nothing bad could actually happen to Lloyd. He can protect himself, he'll be okay. Because our dumbass MC, there's no other way to put it, leaves a note. I'm going on a little trip with these strangers in the Assassin's Guild. I'll be back later. Jesus, man. And the fact that she's like, we found his clothes taken off of him, covered in sticky war. Now, most likely what's going to happen is they'll have a whole freaking army and they'll get there and Lloyd will be chilling and be like, oh, hey guys, what are you doing here? And it'll be fine. But actually consider how easily it could be for thousands of innocent people to get killed along the way because of a warpath-driven brother because he thinks his little bro was stripped down and assaulted and kidnapped. What even is this show? Of course I have full live reactions over on Patreon. If you want to see my full and good thought to this latest episode or any of these episodes, it's going to be over there exclusively now. The animation for the fighting remains to be top tier. And I have seen people say, you know, if this had a weaker production budget, like, would this be as popular? And probably not. But the thing is the actual writing to the mechanics of the magic is really good, and I think it's a generally fun show. But absolutely, if you dip down the art quality of the source material, or if you have a weaker production value on the anime, this show wouldn't be nearly as fun. That is true. But it's not completely held together by the production value or good art. It is generally fun. Is it sus as hell? Yes. An author can make an argument all they want that they kept this girl in provocative clothing that's... She looks younger than Lloyd, if I'm being honest, man. And she was in a freaking thong. I wouldn't be shocked if you went onto this author's computer and found a little something something. That's all I'm gonna say. But is the show generally fun? Absolutely. But yeah, you do kind of have to be like, wait a second. My biggest eye raise is why are all the, like, adult-oriented looking characters who are attractive, why are they such weirdos? The maid? Self-explanatory. We get introduced to this other busty beauty. I'm like, okay, that's the character, and she's also just, oh, little boy, and I'm just like, what is wrong? How do you have such a wholesome, actually, family for Lloyd, and then surround him by nothing but perverts? It's wild. But, this episode's a very good indicator of why Lloyd should never have power in terms of, like, authority. He has power via magic, but he should never have power via authority, i.e. the throne. Like, this would be the worst thing ever. Our boy casually fights the Assassin's Guild. It's like 6-1 or whatever. And it's just fun for him. Like, when he gets into his feral form, and you know what I'm talking about, the face of a pure demon, he would torture... There's a moment. So, the girl I'm talking about is a human voodoo doll. She stabs her leg, you get stabbed right back, right? And she warns him, hey, don't hit me or you're gonna get a real wallop. And he's like, bet. The kid likes being hurt. The more you see of him, the more unhinged he is. This is one of the most unhinged MCs because it's not simply that he's just powerful and he does crazy shit to his enemies. It's the fact that he's powerful. The damage you do to him, he enjoys. He does it all for just seeing magic, and he doesn't care what happens. This is the type of kid that when he calms down and he sees that he's killed 100,000 people in the crossfire, he's like, oh, that's unfortunate. Like, that's the vibe I get from this guy. He would casually launch nuclear bombs just to see what would happen and if he could replicate the power. It's impressive, right? Because the actual production value to this show is one of the best this season. Consistent character models. When it does dip, it's done so intentionally for comedic purposes. The animation, I mean, it's not 1 or 2 frames that look really good in an action sequence, they generally all do. You have a spiderweb character, you have a poison character, you have a flexible dude who's questionable, and then you have like a human voodoo doll. The idea of their leader having this teleport that, like, none of them can control their abilities, like, that's the thing. And the leader just randomly teleporting is like, that has to be the worst one out of all. Like, that and the poison are probably the worst ones because you could easily kill everyone around you and you can never stay in one location and you have no control. Though the letter did come in, so maybe he has a bit more control. Lloyd, however, just casually solves their issue because once he sees magic once, he's pretty much like, oh, bet. Puts basically the spell onto their body as a form of tattoo, basically, which lets them now control it. Like, we go from casually bodying them, thinking that they were about to either kill us, to then realizing he was going to kill us, to then, oh my god, he just saved our life. Lloyd needs a bedtime. Lloyd needs to listen to his big bro. His big bro needs to say no more. No more going running amok. But you can't even tell him no, because if he really wanted to, he'll do so anyway. I'm just speechless, man. There's a lot of sus imagery in this show. Most people ain't gonna deny it. But it's fun. Like, I like unhinged characters. Like, I do not look at Lloyd and say, damn, what a good guy. I look at him and say, depending on the day, he might make a very noble decision, or he might make a pure evil decision. Right now, he's kind of helping people, but the kid cares about one thing and one thing only, and that is learning about magic. And whatever happens in the crossfire happens. Rewind like 2 episodes back, he was playing with magic as he's like, oh, you want to go fight a crazy threat? Go ahead. The only reason he jumped in was it was now time for his playtime. Like, these are the type of characters that just make for one hell of a fun show. Are you gonna look at him and say, damn, what a nice guy, what a heroic guy? Not really. Like, it's really nice that he helped them in terms of being able to control their power. But man, bro, I've seen a lot of WTF moments over the past few anime seasons. But the way that war, like, I don't even expect the war to go far. But imagine letting your, he didn't even think that, hey, maybe I shouldn't leave my slime-covered clothes. Brilliant. Listen, those are my feelings. I'm legitimately speechless over this episode. It was so entertaining. It was so sus. It's basically what you expect, but I thought they diffused the war talks, and then they didn't. Let me know what you thought down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course ring that bell so you know if I would upload more. Like I mentioned, check out those full live reactions over on Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. So today we got Yelena, Hermes 43333, Jimmel Scales, Vincent Granville, The Emperor WWE, Francis Mondra, and Brendan M. Gibbons. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and don't start wars.